everybody. It's after the show. Oh, I'm Deanna Brown, your host. We had a great show today. Larissa Leith is here, and your guy, Andrew Jacoby Jeter.
Hello.
Well, we're missing our mental health specialist, Miss Nevada K. King, today.
I know.
She's out doing some hard work, but we have a good topic. Tell us about it.
So the topic is, how do you change with grace through the fall? Because, this is the season of change, so we're changing through grace. And what did that look like, and how did that make you feel?
Ooh, that gave me the chills of a double entendre. Like you talking about fall seasons, and like how do you change after a fall? We go down, but we get back up again. We fall down, but we get up. Is that how it goes? But I mean, like the grace to change is one thing, right?
Yes.
But then in a season like, I know we're talking about fall, but when you said that, it really made me think about like the times that we fail in life, and like how do you get back up and change through that?
Yeah. I'm going to do a shameless plug. It's one of my favorite movies.
What?
But there's a movie called Little Black Book, starring the late, great Brittany Murphy.
Okay.
And it's the opening line of it is, and sorry, spoiler alert, it says, how do a girl fall through a rabbit hole and comes out unchanged? And then, of course, at the end she goes, she doesn't.
Oh, wow.
She changed. So, that's just what's called. And it's just like, you know what? When you fall down, when you have to get back up, you're not going to be the same.
No.
And you have to learn to adapt to that change. And that's where grace come in. And you have to give yourself grace. You have to give yourself grace on that. And note that change is there.
Yeah.
And one of the biggest things also that goes through a change, and I want to talk about this is, let's talk about a butterfly, a caterpillar turning into a butterfly. That right there is a great change.
Well, can I interrupt you on that? Because you didn't hit my subject, okay? Now, if you think about a caterpillar, it's this great painting. It's a caterpillar and a butterfly, and the caterpillar says, you change. And the butterfly says, we're supposed to.
Yes.
Right? And if you think about it, when a caterpillar changes into a butterfly, it never changes back. So that's transformation. It doesn't go back to the way, we can change and go back and forth, we try. But when you truly make that change, you don't go back. You're never the same again.
No.
And sometimes through life situations, other people, jobs, all kind of things. Go ahead, Larissa.
No, I think you guys are correct. It's encouraging patience and understanding.
There you go.
And when you said butterfly, I'm like, don't have me nerd out today. So as an avid gardener who has, I'm not even kidding, a butterfly garden, and you see the caterpillars and their transition into butterflies, they have to be so strong and so tough, because all of these outside elements that are trying to get to these caterpillars, and some of them don't make it. Oh, and that gave me chills, because this is such a layered answer.
It is. Because if you try to help when they're in their little chrysalis, if you try to help, now you're hurting. But you have that butterfly has to be strong and build up the muscles for the wings on the inside.
On their own.
On their own. Yeah.
But also, even with that, your environment, it matters.
It does.
It matters, because don't plant yourself in the wrong environment.
Thank you.
Don't plant yourself in the wrong environment. So your environment matters. And sometimes we don't realize we're staying in the environment a little bit too long.
Yeah.
And so when we sometimes fall, we need to realize we need to change our environment when we get up. We can't stay right there. You don't fall and just, I fall, let me get up and let me stand right there in the same spot. No.
You have to move.
You have to move.
You have to fly.
You have to fly away, go to a different spot, change your environment. Your environment matters.
It does.
It really can shape you. put yourself in, like I always say, let's breathe in positivity, breathe out any of that negativity.
Exactly.
Because if we don't take those moments, and I remember we talked about this with Miss Nevada about taking our deep breath and
Yep.
breathing right and making sure we're breathing in positivity and letting out any of that negativity, stress, because if we don't, we won't be able to control our environment, because we can't control our environment.
Absolutely. Because I can control who I am in this environment.
And could you imagine taking that negativity into your cocoon before you are transitioning to
my
being a
God.
butterfly?
The trauma.
You're probably not going to make it.
right. You'd be a moth.
Oh, you would be a moth. You would be a moth. You would not be a butterfly.
You ain't gonna make it.
Nobody wants a
You
moth.
might fly, but you ain't gonna fly and
Yeah.
soar. But that's the thing about it, is like when you're right, it's just like life. I'm trying to change. I'm trying to do something different, but I haven't cleared out the negativity in my own life. And sometimes
Yeah.
it's difficult to see it in yourself, to look in the
sure,
mirror.
sure.
But when you have the trusted therapist, trusted friend, you mentioned God, right? Well, then that includes his people, all right? So when you can go and get like real feedback, like, girl,
Yes.
you've been in that space
And
too
you
long.
have to be able to accept that feedback.
Yes.
And again, just like the butterfly, you can get all of the stuff from all of the people, but you have to do your work.
do.
It's because at the end of the day, it's going to be. I always tell people, because sometimes people, you can fake happy. You can fake happy.
Oh God, yes. So put on a mask.
You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, you can't fake it with yourself.
Yeah.
You can
cannot.
fake it with everyone
Everybody.
else, but you can't fake it with yourself. So you have to do that work. You have to put yourself in that cocoon, and then you have to, okay, let me get rid of the things I don't need, and let me accept the things I do need, and know what's good for you and know what's not good for
That's
you.
it.
That discernment.
Yes.
You have to
have
know
to
that
have it.
discernment,
have
but
to.
that comes with self-awareness, and that comes with prayer,
Yes.
and that comes with listening for those answers in which you have been seeking, because sometimes the answers are spoken to us or said to us, and we're like, I need an answer, I need an
Today.
answer,
And
I
it's
need an
right
answer, and I need an
there.
answer, and
And
it's
it's
like,
been
wait a
there.
minute, did you listen for the answer, or did you just ask the answer and then kept on saying, can you tell me this, can you tell me this, can you tell me this, but you didn't take not one moment to just and listen.
Let me say this. We didn't got to the caterpillar. Shall we study? But in there are stages, right? And like I tell you something, for your butterfly stage, it is not for your larvae stage.
Yes.
You got to hold on to that. And you can't be impatient because you're trying to get to your butterfly stage and you want to skip over all these other stages.
Yes.
Oh, that's going to create a fall. Right?
Yes.
Because I think getting through those stages, it helps us, like the caterpillar, shed some things, like that ego.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
The pride. Oh, my
Ooh, the
goodness.
pride.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
here's the other thing.
Come on.
We talk about losing things. Leaves, they have to
They
fall.
Exactly.
Why do they need to fall?
New growth.
New
you
growth.
gotta have the new growth.
So everyone is gonna have moments where they fall,
Right. Ooh.
and that's fine, because it goes back. What's great about a tree?
Oh, because it's going to grow.
It's gonna grow. Why is it gonna grow? Because again, it has those roots. Those roots are implanted.
that are expanding.
That's expanding.
Yeah.
You don't. We talk about how you never see roots. You don't really see the roots of a tree, but
Yeah.
they're there,
Right.
and that's what's great. Is so. But those are our things that we hold on to. Those are our pillars that we really need.
Yeah.
We need those roots.
Yeah, because
We-
change is not easy.
It's not
Like,
easy.
anybody can tell you that, but it takes, for me, it takes faith, right? It's going to be my faith first, prayer, and therapy, all right? Those are the things that
Yes.
have really, really helped shape the changes through the grace, and definitely giving yourself grace and giving other people grace.
Yes, yes.
Because there's a lot of anger sometimes in change.
There is.
Just me?
No,
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 you're speaking the truth.
Yeah.
No, there's
a lot.
anger in change. There's joy in change.
Yeah.
there's sadness in change.
Truth.
There's loss in change.
Yeah.
And sometimes the loss is the difficult part in change because
now you know you got to change.
you know you have to make
Do
these
something
adjustments.
different.
You
That's all
have to
you
do
knew.
something. And sometimes we hold on to things that should be let go through change.
Larissa, come on. She about to give you an offer, Andrew. She like,
You wanna
yes.
let it go, but you're holding on to it.
Man,
But that's actually what's pulling you down to the fall.
Yeah.
Come on.
And Rika, my girl Rika and I were talking about this. You hold on to what you're not supposed to be holding on to.
Oof.
That door is still closed and those blessings are waiting, you know. God's knocking, but you're still holding on to that past.
Yeah.
And when you finally let go, oh my gosh, the floodgates open.
Yeah, that's another thing. You trying to carry all of this through a little door that's only designed for you to go through,
you.
and you're like sitting there going,
Oh my gosh.
"I'm walking through this door. I see the door open, but you're fighting just
And you can't figure out why the
Some
door
of
won't
those
open.
things aren't supposed to go on that journey with
Put
you.
it down."
And sometimes it's not time yet.
There it is.
Because like when the little butterfly is fighting his way out of the cocoon, if you start fighting too early, your wings aren't developed. You start fighting too late, your wings are dry.
Yep.
So there's a time. There's a time for everything.
There's a time
Yes.
for everything.
Everything there is a season. And just like our good seasons of joy and happiness, those seasons of sadness or whatever that may be, that is necessary too.
Yes, and that's where that's the pinnacle of giving yourself the grace you need through those times.
Yeah.
And just like you have to be grateful for the good time, you have to be grateful for the bad times as
You
well.
got to find that gratefulness in that.
And
that doesn't come automatically.
No, it's not going to be easy.
But you do find that gratefulness, like, you know what? That was hard, but I understand why it happened. I might not be glad it happened,
Right.
but I definitely can understand and give space for, if it would have happened, it couldn't have happened any other way.
Yeah.
But I wish it wouldn't have happened that way.
Right.
But
But it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter in that moment, but then also sometimes you don't learn that. Again, like you said, that was something in the larva stage that you needed for the butterfly stage. So you couldn't grasp the lesson in the moment, but you're grateful for the lesson after.
Absolutely.
Because that lesson is going to prevent something else in the future. So sometimes those bad things, but we have to be grateful for them. I'm not saying in the moment, I can't even tell you that I'll be grateful for them.
It
Like,
just
oh,
stinks.
why?
Right. Because it's when we get like that, it's like, that's not what I expected, right? It's a disappointment of my expectation.
Right.
Yes.
I feel like when that happens, and this takes a lot of maturity and growth
Come
to
on.
get to this point, and I'm still growing and learning, but when things start happening, I know I have to go through it because still something good is waiting for me once I get through it.
Yeah.
And so that mindset, it helps me take it with grace.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wish that I can stay in that mindset all the time.
We're human.
Because like at the end of it, it's like, yep, Lord, I knew it. And even at the beginning, but then when you get to the middle, oh no, why, Lord, why? Can this cup pass from me? Okay. But it is a maturity to get to say, okay, the end of this is going to be.
Oh, it's
gonna
beautiful.
be-
It's gonna be
But can I tell
beautiful.
you, even getting a lot of great news
It's
can
overwhelming
be
too.
overwhelming.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And you have to be, maybe it's just me sometimes, it's kind of challenging to be like, it's, being that, like, and not being humble is challenging. Being able to accept
All of
the
the
congratulations
Oh,
accolades.
it's
and the
hard. It's
accolades and the
difficult.
things like that. It's like, oh, congratulations for
Oh, my
this
God.
and congratulations for this. And I see you doing this and you're doing it. And I'm
And
like,
you're just like, in
oh,
shock, like,
you know what I mean? Like,
thank
you know what I
you.
mean? Thank you. Like, how do I, you know what I mean? I'm like, thank you. And it's just
It's a
like,
lot of
that can be overwhelming but you're still grateful for those moments, but that can still be a challenge and be in the happy moments as well.
Right.
And
You're right
accepting
about
those
that. I'm that
changes
way.
because sometimes I was, especially a lot going on, especially this summer, a lot happened and people were just like, oh, you're doing this and oh, you're doing this. And I was just like, oh, what are you, yes, oh, thank you.
Yeah.
But that change,
because you're just doing. Yeah.
that change was still an adjustment to make, even though it's still a good things and good things was happening. Those are still changes that are, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're for the good, but it was just like overwhelming
adjustment,
and an
yeah.
adjustment.
You're right.
So even good things can be, you know, can be stressful in its
A
own way, a
challenge.
challenge in its own way, but it's still a blessing.
Right.
You know what I mean? And you're humbled about those changes, but that's still grateful. You have to be grateful and show grace to yourself because of that too.
Right.
I think so. Wow, this was a good show. The time is up. Can you believe that?
You know,
This is after the show. So we named it after the show because, like, during the show, it's a show.
Right.
But after the show,
Kick the feet up.
it's
talk.
and it's a way for people to really get to know who you are.
yeah.
Because I always say sometimes we're pretty for the camera, we're ready for the camera, but it's
It's a mask.
a mask
I got
sometimes.
on makeup.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh, absolutely.
So sometimes it's just for you all to just see that the people behind the scenes, the people that's putting on the show, the things sometimes that you see on Instagram may be
The highlight
beautiful
reels.
and
Facade,
really amazing,
yeah.
but
Yeah.
hey,
It is. It's
this is just a small portion of the beautiful and collected of people.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for watching the Forward Progress Show after the show today with our guests Larissa Leith and
Thank you,
Andrew
guys.
Jacoby Jeter. And I'm your host, Deanna Brown. We had an amazing talk today. So we hope that when you go through your changes or if you fall, that you will go through with grace. Well, God bless you. And remember, you can go from dream to screen, page to stage, and you can make forward progress at any age. Bye-bye.